you're growing potatoes, here's a trick that will turn them from tiddlers into spuds that are big enough for baking. Now you start off with seed potatoes. Now these, they come in packets from nurseries and mail order. Now they might look like potatoes from the supermarket, but actually they're different because they're grown in virus-free conditions where there are no aphids. And that means that, unlike potatoes planted from the supermarket, that when you stick them in the ground this year, they're full of brio, full of life, they're disease-free, and they're going to give you a crop. So you start them off in the usual way. You set them out in trays. And you keep them somewhere frost-free and sunny. After a couple of weeks, you notice a change. They've got sprouts all over them. When you notice that, this is where the magic comes in. You can modify the size of the spuds. You see this potato here is covered in lots of eyes and they're all starting to grow. Now each one of these eyes will turn into a shoot, and at the base of those shoots will be a crop of potatoes. The more shoots you have, the more potatoes, but the smaller they are. So what I do is rub away with my thumbnail, all but 3 just on the top end of the potato up there, and I'll have less shoots, but all the potato's energy will go into the spuds that formed on the base of these shoots. So I'll have less, but they'll be much bigger. Now these are still a little bit short, so I'm going to set them back out in a sunny but frost-free situation until they look something like that. About 1 centimetre of growth on there. Key thing is, it's nice and stocky. It won't break off when I put it in the soil. So these are good to go. And there's another trick that will make your potato crop larger, not just your spuds bigger. And it's all down to what you do after planting. I set out the spuds on the soil surface. I'll do that first, spacing them 40 centimetres apart in the rows, 2 foot between the rows. That's 60 centimetres in new money. That allows me to adjust them to make sure the rows are straight. I like straight rows, neat and tidy does it. And then when I'm happy with how they look, I get them in the ground. Now, this is my no-dig system. You might remember I put some cardboard down. You check out one of the other videos, but I put cardboard down and covered it with this green waste compost about, I don't know, 12 centimetres, 3 or 4 inches, something like that. Now, when it comes to planting, I just use an old kitchen knife, push back the compost to reveal the cardboard below. Now this wants to be wet, so you want to put your irrigation on to make sure that this cardboard's nice and soft. Use my knife, make a wee hole in the cardboard like that to expose the soil underneath. Pop the potato in. Now you notice I'm putting it in rows end up. This is the side with the buds pointing up. And as long as that's in the contact with the soil like that, that'll be fine. And then I brush over with the compost on the top just to cover. Now the most important thing when growing potatoes, if you want heavy crops, particularly if you're growing in a no-dig system where the potatoes aren't buried that deeply in the ground, is water. You need to get a good sprinkle on top of the potatoes, particularly when they're establishing. Get that water down into the ground, and if you give them a really good flood just as they're coming into flower, you not only get big potatoes, you'll get a big crop of big potatoes.